Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
With the Bruce, the Yang, and Captain Socks.
Hello, future people, and welcome to this episode of Getting Tabled with our fragile little creature, Major Socks.
Fragile, yes. And I'm slumming it in a 6-star hotel down in Florida, as Bruce is saying. So,
and then on the
I'm
other
just
side of me,
stating
I
the
don't know
facts.
which way. We have a Bruce who is barely civilized and says weird things like capsicum.
I speak the English language. I don't make one up of my own.
You speak a variant of the English language.
And of course, over there we have George, that is stuffing his face with goodness knows what.
Cashews covered in ranch seasoning and pink grapefruit juice.
odd combination.
So Captain Socks is in the hotel room, but you've stolen his dinner.
It's pink grapefruit juice, not rosé.
What dinner I can make in my little fridge and my little microwave that all I have in my hotel room. So.
Yeah, for those wondering, he actually is in a hotel room. That's why we started this time.
Yes, so I moved down to Florida. Unfortunately, my family is still up in where I moved from. Our housing stuff got shifted to the right a couple weeks. So they are packing up the house. Well, the movers were there yesterday and the day before packing stuff up. So I had to come down here to start my job. So.
And would you like to explain to the audience why you're in a hotel room and not in your house?
Because my house is not ready yet until the end of August.
Dude, it's awfully convenient, don't you think?
A month? A month of maid service and getting your sheets turned down every day. See how it is.
They're not servicing my room because of COVID.
It's Florida. The home of Florida man. They don't care about COVID.
I know they don't, but they do care about COVID. So no maid service.
Well then, let's do this little thingy right here.
Newly received or noteworthy information, especially about recent or important events.
Well, another
news
fortnight...
from Games Workshop. Shocking.
I know, but this actually is fairly shocking. I honestly wasn't expecting anything new for Kill Team. But I am kind of expecting that this box set is going to be like $750 or something. Because there's specific kits in this that you can't buy anywhere else. Therefore, they will charge through the nose for it. But enough throwing shade. This morning, or last night for you guys, Games Workshop showed off the Octarius briefing, which is a Kill Team box set filled with plastic Orc Commandos and plastic... what's the name of the horrible gas planet, guys? Kriegsmarine? No. Death Corps.
I think Krieg.
Oh, I was right. Krieg.
I think Krieg.
Yeah.
Are we right, Krieg?
It's either Krieg or Krieg. I don't know. I'm going to say Krieg. So, I don't think I'm stretching the truth when I say people have wanted some plastic Death Corps for a while. Like, a serious long while. And these look gorgeous, quite frankly.
So, the minis are okay. I'm really impressed with the Orc terrain, actually. That is some proper Orc terrain there.
I'm a big fan of the Commandos. And yes, moving down to the terrain does look gorgeous. It feels like it's slapped together, which Orc terrain should. There's just piles of random crap piled on top of each other. Like, this looks like it's going to be a decent sized box. You got 2 full teams. Obviously, you got your rule book and everything. Dice, yay, dice. Comes with the game board and everything.
Bruce, can you be a little more enthusiastic about dice, please? Okay. It's disheartening that you are so low-key about the dice.
And you get dice! That's
There
it.
you go.
That's all my excitement I've got. It's hard to be excited for something
He's
that
done for
tries
the
to stab
episode.
me in the back every time I pick one up. But look, in all honesty, I expect this is going to sell very well. I'm just hoping that it gets priced reasonably, unlike the last 2 Kill 10 boxes, which were used to sell stuff that people wanted at stupid prices that they weren't worth. Otherwise,
Games Workshop wouldn't do that.
No, not all the time. Entirely and forever. We also get a preview of some more Orc models further down, which is more of the 40k stuff that got hinted at earlier in the year. This giant truck-looking thing being dragged by... I like the design of the new squigs. I mean, I miss the giant mouths with legs. But I do like these things. These things are cool.
So right off the bat, this vehicle here, do you know what this immediately screams to me? The Tau have fallen to the Orc, and the Orc are now scavenging their parts and pieces to make stuff out of.
Actually, that's not a bad point.
I mean, if you look at the armor coloring and stuff of the metal, sure, it's got tires. They've got plenty of tires from, you know, Space Marines and Imperial Guard. But that armor, especially the armored horn on the head of the beast with that little metal stuff, and that it totally looks like they've salvaged some Tau armor for that.
Yeah. And this big mech that looks like he's got a giant claw that's been made from the skull of something. Well, a metallic skull of something. That is just all kinds of cool.
Is that further on down?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
one right below the monstrosity.
The one dragging that I was talking about.
Yeah. No, this looks more like looks like more reclaimed Tau armor. Not so much even a skull. It's a armor that's been shaped into a skull shape. Don't get me wrong. I think it looks great. I think it's about time the Orcs started, you know, defiling the Tau and, you know, using their bits and pieces to further their cause of wah.
And getting some new kits beyond, you know, the measly one that most armies get nowadays. If you're not Space Marines. There's a giant tower there as well. And the Great White Squig, which is kind of a mix between the new style and the old style. I'm not sure I like this one. I don't know. He's still a mouth with legs, but he's a little bit more... I don't know. I'm not as keen on this one as I am the other one.
So he must be a very important squig because they took the time to give him a mecha leg so he could continue to be a mount.
Yep. Oh my god, they've also got a Terminator. I didn't even see that until now. There's an Orc Terminator. And when I say he's an Orc Terminator, half of his face has been replaced with metal parts.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, it's the mount for the squig.
For some reason, he's also got what looks like a Maui tattoo. Which is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of what they're doing with these. Like, in all honesty, it looks like they're redoing practically everything in the line. We got new mech boys. Oh, new Def Copters.
Oh, that looks dope.
Yeah. I think they've done really well with some of this stuff. It's going to be interesting to see what happens and when we see this stuff physically.
Also, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
They're doing all of this, and then they're throwing out cease and desist on guys that are trying to redo the Eldar, which have been needing a redo for however long, and since they can't be bothered to do it, and someone else does it, they have to cease and desist them.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
It is Games Workshop.
You can't tell me I'm wrong.
No,
I'm
I
not
can't.
correct, but I'm not wrong.
Given that we're also the people that criticise the guy for essentially copying and pasting, I think
That's true.
like we're being fair here. Moving on. Quite a few months ago now, we kind of talked about this Mythic Americas that Warlord Games was doing that had the really cool Aztecs and Native Americans. Well, the Incans have actually started showing up now in some absolutely gorgeous looking models. We've got a starter set here with some regular warriors and some other warriors flying on vultures. Are they vultures or condors?
Not only...
No, vultures.
Probably a condor for that part of the world. Not only are the minis awesome looking, but the color palette they have selected for these is just brilliant as well.
Yeah, and feels very authentic too. I mean, it's hard to know exactly what was authentic because there's not a lot of it left. Thanks, Spain. Wait, was the Incans Spain as well? I'm pretty sure the Spanish took all of them, didn't they?
Was the Mayans were the predominant one, northern Mexico. No, Aztecs. So you had the Mayans and the Incas as you went further on down. So the Spanish still did that. However, I mean, enough of it. I mean, the fact that there are still, tribal ancestry still surviving and trying to make, I mean, the information is out there to get it, so, I think this looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this.
How many minis are in that? Because that looks like a pretty good price, too. But, oh, maybe not. 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 20...
24.
21, 24 in a flyer for $144 US.
Well, you get 3 flyers.
Yeah, I said that's 24 models, including 3 flyers.
Oh, right. Okay. It's all resin and metal, which will be part of it. What is it? £90.
See, I have it all metal mini, have it all resin mini, have it all plastic mini. Don't mix the two. That makes me grumpy.
Even though that's the tradition.
I don't.
Yeah, this is what most Warlord sets are come with.
Yeah.
I got my Victory C stuff and it's resin.
When you have companies like TT Combat where it's an all plastic kit or an all resin kit of the kits I've gotten. Now there are some drop zone stuff where it's metal and resin, but the stuff I've gotten has been all resin or all plastic. Games Workshop, it's all resin, all plastic. Sorry, it's not resin. It's what's the
Fine cast?
No, it's not fine cast. It's fine crap. Forge World is all resin. I have to take 2 different mediums. Oh, okay. Maybe now, yes. Back in the day, they were the what's the word?
Pinnacle?
The standard. Yeah, they have. Yeah, Pinnacle. Yeah, they I will admit, from what the stuff I've seen and heard, they have started to fall off quality wise. So I don't like mixing my mediums of modeling material together.
I can get behind that. Those birds
but, I mean,
also look like they're decently sized birds by the look of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, have you seen how big some of those condors?
Well, yeah. Also in the same
what
range,
is it, like 6 foot wingspans their socks?
Yeah, something like that.
Also in the same range, we have this giant monstrosity Maris, which is a giant snake man, and all kinds of awesome.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
He's $104. Does he come pre-assembled and pre-painted like that? Because...
Well, they've listed off the paints, and in order to achieve that, they've used 11 paints.
across different. Actually, most of it Vallejo, a little bit of one army painter. He looks really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, he's part of the Incas. Okay, so they get a big snake Naga dude.
Yes. Yes, he's part of the Incas.
Nagas.
That's why I'm showing him on our story with the Incans.
Well, I was going to digress into Naga is more of the Orient water giant snakes in Central American mythos. What are they called?
Native Americans?
No, Native American is above Central America.
So, Aztecs.
Right, so Aztecs, Mayas, Incas, they're all Central America.
So
What
this is based on a god that I'm not going to try and pronounce. They do list it there.
Ooh.
No, I'm not. No.
Makahulati. So I've been reading a book series by Stephen Blackmore, and there's a lot of Aztec Mayan references. So, yeah, looks good.
Yeah,
I want to know what the name for a giant snake person is.
Naga is the classic fantasy.
But that's Oriental.
Yes, but that's that's what gets used in fantasy. I don't know what they call them natively.
Okay, yeah. So, good looking stuff. Again, like, I want to see if they move up into like North America and have like the Arapaho and the Shoshone tribes and stuff like that, and bring in some of that mythology and mythos. I think that'd be great, and then get all the way up, into the Inuits up from the far north in Canada.
I would love to
Alaska.
see what they do with the Inuits. That would be cool.
Right. I mean, you would have to have like giant bear beast things.
Yeah,
maybe even if this game continues going well, maybe even go into some of the island nations.
Oh, get some Moray. Am I saying that right? Mori or Moray?
Maori. But if you're looking at there's a lot of crossover there anyway. But if you're looking at the Americas, you're probably more looking at Samoa and stuff.
Well, no, they're closer to.
Doesn't the US own a part of Samoa?
American Samoa, yes, but it's closer to y'all than it is to us.
Fair enough. I just think it would be easier to justify than New Zealand.
Well, you got
a game named after the Americas.
They're a different, group of Samoans.
Yeah.
Well, Samoan relation, I guess, is the better way to put it.
You got Tonga, you got Samoas, so you could pretty much call it
right. No, I don't want them to get mad at me and hurt me though, Socks, because you got two Samoans. You got the big Samoans who are like ripped. You got the other Samoans who are just as big, but they're not as ripped, but they're just as strong, and they'll snap you like a toothpick.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We had quite a few. There's a big Polynesian community in Utah.
Fun fact: American football has a higher percentage of players from America's Samoa per capita than any other part of the United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Moving on from odd pop culture references. Pop culture references? Oh, I don't know. TT Combat have some stuff. Yes. So, TT Combat have an expansion coming out for Rumbleslam. Called, that's not the one I want.
Ladders.
Tables, chairs, and chests. Because I can't say chairs. If they say chairs, they'll get sued. So this is a new game mode for the game. It includes...
There's a mimic.
It includes a mimic, yes. And chests. There is a table. There is a chair. There is a ladder.
Why can't they say chair?
Because tables, ladders, and chairs is a copyrighted phrase. It's the name the name of a wrestling pay-per-view.
Got it. Yeah. So tables, ladders, chests.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they're referencing it without saying it. My favorite part of this is easily the statue. The belt you can actually stand a mini on Also, you can stand a mini on the arm. They've been designed specifically for it. It's just all kinds of cool. You can also stand a mini on the knee, on a bit of the platform. So the idea is that you can climb up this thing. They have rules so that you can do elbow drops and stuff from the top, and the farther you fall, the more damage you do. Which just makes sense in a wrestling perspective. It's also just a really cool looking statue.
So I'm gonna throw this out there too. It's also awesome that, you know, with this big statue, that they throw a little tribute to luchadores.
Yeah. Yep.
With the mask there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what they're doing with this. The rule set is going to evolve so that it's not just about pinning and eliminating your opponents anymore. You're actually trying to grab the Dosh, hence why it's called Dosh Grabbers, which is kind of... It's basing itself on your classical ladder matches or TLC matches, which is your table, ladders, chairs, that you see in wrestling these days, where you're usually grabbing for a briefcase or something up the top.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm referencing what this is based on. It's not my
Right,
fault that you don't have taste.
Moving on.
And yes, as you're grabbing... obviously, as you saw there is a mimic as well, because while you're grabbing the treasure, there's a possibility that you could grab the wrong one, and then, owie, you're going to be eaten by the monster.
Because everything's a mimic.
Yes. Yep. Including the glass.
And the barrel. They kind of got... No, that's the mimic on the side.
The hotel room that Socks originally stayed in was a mimic. This isn't actually Socks. It's what's left over of the consciousness after it was eaten.
The next part of the combat, I'm guessing, is the terrain they've got at the bottom of the page, correct?
Yes. So, if I don't accidentally close the window... So, we've got some new Venice terrain, which is all kinds of gorgeous. And there's some new drop zone terrain that all come with rules for the game.
Oh, these come with rules?
Yep. So, for example,
cool.
I'm just going to open Compound Drac. No real reason why I'm picking that one, but...
While you're opening that, I was gonna kick this over to Major Socks. Sorry, Major Socks. Doesn't this terrain look like it'd also be great for that little Star Wars game you play?
Region? Yeah. The scale may not be right, but yeah, it would.
Yeah, the scale would be wrong.
Oh, this is drop zone scale?
Yes. I did say that.
No, it says it works with 28 to 32 millimeter games and miniatures.
What are you looking at?
Which one are you looking at?
Bolstered Factory.
Hang on, let me go back.
That is the Bolstered Factory is from the range that we talked about last episode.
Oh, is it?
Yes. You've gone down too far.
Okay. Oh, I went too far?
Yes.
I went down the rabbit hole?
Yep. But that was the one that last
yes.
episode I said was the most gorgeous. That's the one that I really liked. If I look at Compound Drac, and there's no real reason I'm picking this one, I just picked it because I picked it. Not only do you have instructions on how to build it, you've also got rules for the game, which links into their regular download section. So you're getting terrain pieces that will actually infect the game now. Most of these are designed so that they're, out of the city limit type stuff, so it's not just... They're trying to break up the game, so it's not just all cities and buildings and stuff all the time, which is kind of nice.
That is nice, because for a while there, it felt like that's all you had to really play with, because that was how the game was structured in the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, they had stuff for other terrain stuff, but it's nice to see them expanding outside that realm of moving away from city centers.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out how fancy that CGI image goes by the name Lewis is getting with like the spinning images.
Yeah, I know,
For
right?
this new stuff.
I
Just
think
show it
my
off now.
favourite might be the Chakwas, maybe. I'm not sure. It's kind of
That's
hard
the
to
one I
pick.
just clicked on. And that does look pretty cool with the little around the silo things. It's
Yeah.
pretty snaz.
And we've got new pieces for the modular Venetian set, which is a set that we have loved for quite a while now. We've got 4 new pieces. We've got this lovely Banca di Venezia, which I'm probably butchering, but I tried. You've got Venetian tall walls. The walls are gorgeous. You've got the Valletta Scala Area, which is a staircase. And Via Mercantile, which is like a shopfront restaurant type thing. All gorgeous. And because they're part of the modular set, they'll just join in with the everything else that we've already said that we love.
I love how cute the little tables are.
Yeah. So TT Combat's had a busy couple of weeks. Anything favourite on your side? Obviously, it's not going to be the Rumbleslam stuff because you're just not interested in the Rumbleslam stuff because you're a heathen.
I'm not a heathen. I just like to portray one in real life. The Carnival stuff. I mean, it just, regardless if I play the game or not, it just looks so beautiful. And on the side of terrain, it is one of those few terrains where you put it all together and you have this gorgeous, rich, old city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can easily use that in a Age of Sigmar setting. You could
40K,
use
quite
that
frankly.
in an Infinity set. You can use it in a 40K setting. You could use it to make a hellacious 40K kill team board. It is such a versatile look because it's a building. I mean, these buildings are standing right now. Who's not to say they're not going to be standing for... Okay, it at least falling apart a little bit, like the towers leaning and stuff. So, I mean, some of these are going to fall apart and disappear, but they're still going to be around for a while, and they've already been around for a while, and so it's not beyond the realm of you could use it in every genre setting of miniature wargaming.
Yeah.
Ooh,
What about you, Socks?
what's that game with the horror movie stuff, Bruce? You use the horror
don't
movie
look
stuff,
back.
but have it in Venice.
Don't look back, and
Yeah,
don't worry,
that would be cool.
it's coming up. They have an expansion that's actually suited to exactly what you're referring to. Socks, do you have any favourites?
Oh, nice.
I kind of like the drop zone terrain.
The drop zone?
Playing
Yeah.
drop zone for years. I like them introducing some terrain that you can use outside other than just hills or lakes or streams or trees or whatnot. Some actuals, and it can be useful in the game itself. So I like that stuff.
I love the fact that it's coming with rules that'll actually change things up. I really like that idea. It's an idea that the community's been playing with in their competitions for quite a while. And it's nice to see to actually get some versions of that available on the official side of things. For me, I'm kind of torn. I love what they're doing with tables, ladders, and chests. I really like what that's going to do to try to shake up the game. But I'm not sure if I like it over the Venetian stuff. I'm kind of torn between the two. I just love that Venetian set, terrain set. It's absolutely stunning. Yeah. Lewis, you need to stop making things that I want.
I would love to have like an 8-foot by 8-foot table or whatever size, just to have all of the City of Venice stuff.
Yeah.
Just set up in just one big, city constantly. Because it looks that good. Next.
So next.
Knights of Ball.
Yeah. So Cromlech have teased something that they're going to do a full reveal of at the end of this month, which they're calling Knights of Baal. Now, this is certainly not an army that I'm interested in. Definitely not. No. It's definitely not the Blood Angels. And by saying definitely not, it is. They have appeared to have given it their own feel, though. I mean, you can see what it's based on. It's not very hard to see that it's the Blood Angels. But the aesthetic they've gone in the Space Marine armor is... it's all thorns and stuff. You've got what I assume is supposed to be the face of Sanguinius, which you don't really see in the models at all, really. Other than the death masks. And obviously they've changed up the logo for one of their own.
I was going to say, I think they need to change the logo up a little more, because, I mean, it's a drop of blood with some spikes on it. The Blood Angels logo is a drop of blood. I mean,
The thing
they are trying to make the effort. I think they need to do something. I think they need to do a little more effort.
And it's going to be
a little more.
We won't really know a lot until we actually see the full thing. So
yeah. So
the very first thing they show off. I'm trying to think what they call the priest guys. Starts with a C.
Librarians. Chaplains.
Chaplains. Thank you. Half of his armor looks like it's like muscle sinew. That I really like.
That's very Vlad the Impaler from Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I get the impression that this is going to be a darker version of the Blood Angels. Just based on that.
Yeah.
But we will see. Hard to really say much else. It's literally just a teaser. So, but I'm kind of keen to see where this goes. Yeah, very keen to see.
What we were just you mentioned that I guessed at.
Yeah.
The Black Site Studios.
So they've got another new expansion coming. This one is called Terror on the High Seas, hence why I said it fits in what your idea was. Because this one is based on, like, you're supposed to be on the ship in the middle of an ocean. There's nothing that says that it couldn't be a city that's falling into the ocean. That would work. Make it Lovecraftian.
With water streets.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the monster looks so Lovecraftian as it is already.
I just want to say, I love how cute he is with his giant smile. He just wants a hug. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that in a good way. They've taken the idea of eldritch horror, Lovecraft lore, and they've done it with this, but in a different way from everyone else, because it's not creepy and tentacly and scary. It's a hug.
Yeah.
Even the guy holding the harpoon has kind of a grin on his face. Kind of hard to tell, but it almost looks like he has a grin.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. So obviously, because this is going to be based around the ocean, there's going to be some changes in rules. It's the USS Australis. I don't know why the US has a ship named after my country, but apparently they do. And it's got a dark and lurid past, because of course it does. It's a horror movie. I'm very, very keen to see what this turns out to be like. I need to wait for my actual game to turn up first. What was that, sorry?
Did the front fall off this ship?
Might have done. There's nothing wrong.
I'm referencing
it's just the front fell. It's just the front fell off.
Aren't they supposed to not fall off?
For those that don't know what he's referring to, there's an Australian comedy sketch where the show used to take the mickey out of anything that was happening in the news, pretty much. And this story got picked up, and one of the comedians picked up the representative from the Australian government, and the other one was a reporter asking questions, and they poked fun at how they were dancing around the questions. As part of this, I'm kind of going.
I will say they did
such a good job.
They did such a good job too that the lay person, like who's just stumbling across this, would legit think that this is an actual like legit news interview.
Yes, yeah, it does. It does kind of come across that way.
To Dystopian Wars.
Dystopian Wars continue to just woomph, play our game.
Yeah.
We're getting a look at the Americans now. We've got the Constitution Battle Fleet, which I like the name of.
I do too.
They have quadcopters.
It's just a good word.
It is a good word. I really like the look of these. The quadcopters are interesting. I don't know. I like the look of these. I'm not sure they feel American. But then again, they've got the steamroller things, so.
And they were huge
Right,
in the riverways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, those side steam wheels, those are totally like a Mississippi riverboat.
Yeah.
Then you've got like, which one is that? The Constitution class battleship. That straight up looks like an ironclad on roids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it though. I think they are overusing the steam wheel design a little bit. Like it's everywhere on everything. Not everything we did in the early 1800s stocks, right? Mid 1800s ish. Not everything had a steam wheel like that. We had other forms of propulsion. That was just a really cool, creative one. Some of them were just on the back, not the side. Come on,
Yeah, I think the idea is that they're trying to play with, because it's an alternate history. So you pick the things that are iconic, and it's an iconic look. I mean, I'm kind of guessing here, but that would be they've picked that because you know exactly where it came from.
Ooh, now I will say this though, the Farragut class frigate.
Yeah.
The front end of that just looks really kind of creepy cool, like it's a angry, like, I'm gonna eat your shit.
Yeah, I can see that now. And the guns are kind of there as like the glasses on the end of the nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the angry teacher from high school, but as a boat.
No, it's what's his face from Trailer Park Boys with the Coke ball glasses.
I'm just gonna smile and nod because I've never actually watched that.
I haven't either. I've just seen his face a lot.
There's also
Major Socks has watched it a bunch though, right? Big fan, right?
What's that? Which one?
You're a big fan of Trailer Park Boys, right? Watch it all the time. No?
No, it reminds me of home too much.
Not while I'm drinking. It was almost.
I just want to, for the record, I'm picking on him, not his wife and kids. I just want that on record. Just because I realised how bad that sounded. We also have a Descartes battle fleet. These guys come from the Covenant of the Enlightened. So this is from Wild West Exodus, essentially. And this is all very, very alternate sci-fi.
So
I love the fact that the battleship looks like it has a face on the front.
These are painted, first of all.
Yes.
Some of them.
All the models.
Yep.
Well, okay. So of all the Dystopian War fleets they've shown off, it's all just been, this is the resin model. These are painted, and that does so much more. Wayland Games, you gotta go back. Or no. Who is it?
No, Wayland Games.
War Cradle Studios, sorry.
Well, yeah, but Wayland owned them.
You gotta go back and you gotta throw some... You gotta throw some paint on those other minis, because now these have got my attention. The Marion class option for frigate, dude, that straight up looks like a little like sea missile thing with a big mine in it. That like ram into. But it's not torpedo because torpedoes are under the water. This is like
You're right.
on the water, and it's gonna ram it. Brrr, boom.
Kurt's just having too much
Bruce,
fun right
mark
now.
that down. I was right. I was right.
What were you right about?
For once.
Torpedoes
being
are
above-
under the water.
They can be on near the surface too.
I have a serious question. Who was ever questioning whether they were underwater or not? I don't remember either of us asking that question.
Because I said it was a missile, and Sock said it was a torpedo. I said, no, torpedoes are under the water.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So, okay, that's fine. You were right. It's okay. How dare you, Captain Socks? Never allow him to be right
I
again.
know.
This is not
Major.
the first one that they've painted up, though. They have also painted up, which I'm just going to show this off just for clarification, the Ninjing Battle Fleet. So if you guys watch our video version, you'll be able to see that they've got painted pictures of the Chinese ships as well.
I could make a really bad joke about that, but I'm going to pass.
Probably a smart idea. But no, I do agree that they should be getting painted stuff out of all of their stuff. It should be, like, fairly standard. But we shall move on to the cutest little monkeys you've ever seen. So, what we're looking at here is a preview of a Kickstarter that's coming live on the 13th of July. This is by Grebo Games, and this is an alternate Blood Bowl team. So we have looked before at their cutie Blood Bowl team. This is that, but with monkeys. It's kind of been designed deliberately to kind of so that you can kind of use them as a few different things, but insanely cute. You're getting multiple different line apes. You've got banana throwers, which are obviously a ball throwers. You've got wood dancers, cocoa catchers. So this is supposed to feel very wood elfy, but you could just say it is whatever you want, really, so long as you have models that fit.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I just found the cutest.
Is it the guy showing off his butt?
No, if you go down to the Lemurian clan.
Oh, yep, I haven't got that far yet, but yes.
And they're the little tiny things with big eyes, and they're all... Oh, and there's one that's going... Like he's really angry.
Yeah. I kind of... This is the one I actually prefer, honestly. You can kind of... I don't know, you can kind of see goblins, is what I want to say.
I don't say some dwarf with the little machines, because that's a death roller, essentially.
Yep. They've kind of designed this quite deliberately so that you can count as whatever you want.
And if you look at it, it's actually a sloth that they're hooked wheels to.
Yep. And they're pulling on his tongue to get him to move faster. Yeah. And there's also a gorilla team with the same. So
and
instead of the sloths, you're getting gorillas.
And it looks like an all-in on this is €225.
Yep. So 66 different models. 17 big guys, 25 normal. No, that's 25. Oh, no, you're right, yeah. 23 stunty, and you get one marker. It's a fairly... It's a fairly big lot of minis. I wouldn't want the all-in on this personally, because I just don't play enough Blood Bowl, but I'm very tempted to buy one of them. Which is €65.
Which, that's about average for a Blood Bowl team box from Games Workshop.
Yeah.
is right around that 60 neighborhood. So that price
hang on,
is
that's the price of them in dollars, though.
no, it's in euro.
No. The 60, the Blood Bowl boxes are not this expensive. Not even close. I can buy them for $50 over here.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe they
I
are
think.
cheaper than that. Okay, I don't know.
I will clarify that statement in a moment.
Anyways, these look really good. I can't find my.
Do you like cutie things, Captain Socks?
Yeah, I could see my kids liking some of these models. Will I get into this game? Probably not. I have enough games as it is. My wife says that.
Well, this isn't actually a game in and of itself. These are just alternate models
I
for
know.
Blood Bowl.
I agree.
In the unlocks, they've got cheerleaders and stuff as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I just like, it's just so cute.
It's pretty cute.
There's one of them wearing a box that's saying that he's a robot. Alright, I'm going to stop looking at things now. Shall we look at the indies while I'm trying to clarify my previous statement?
The indies, that would be this.
Indie. Definition. Independent. Type. Slang word. Jargon.
So, originally this week I was going to cover one particular company, and then they got covered by Beasts of War instead, so I moved on and I decided to cover somebody else. Thanks, Warren, I really appreciate that. Because they record before we do. I'm very glad that we didn't end up covering the same thing, because then we would have gotten accused of copying. So, Christoph Designs I came across on Facebook very, very randomly. I'll show you what I first saw from them later. But, under the fantasy stuff... Oh no, I can show you that now. Oh yeah. Yeah, this stuff is good. And it's mostly pre-painted. So these Tudor style buildings are just...
second link, so...
That's alright.
Let me know when we're at the second.
Yep. So the thing that I first come across with these battle tiles for Age of Sigmar, they have just designed like a build your own table type design that's kind of modular, and it's been designed so that you can set up your zones and everything very easily. It all kind of like clicks into place and works very, very well. I kind of like that. Moving back to the terrain though, you've got pre-painted roads and streets along with your sidewalks. These Tudor buildings are just gorgeous. The Tudor buildings do show up in the historical stuff as well, which is the side that George is looking at. But if I move across to the historical side, what are you looking at specifically?
All of it.
Oh,
just the old
that's very helpful.
Wild West.
Yeah. So again, this is mostly all pre-painted. So all you got to do is build most of this. Obviously, the Wild West stuff is just Wild West Exodus. Yeah.
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 I don't need any more. No. Oh, this looks so good. Oh,
well,
go.
15 mil stuff can be used for Flames of War down below.
Yeah, true. They do have an entire section of 15 mil stuff.
So I'm on the 28mm Wild West style row of shops for £50. It's got like the land office and something else. Fourth photo from the bottom of the little scroll bar on the list gives you shot of the tops. So like one of them has a peaked roof and everything, but the other three, they're flat behind the sign. There's a little trap door.
Oh, that is cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. I like the fact that they've also got Mark Calloway's house here. There's only certain people that will get that reference, and none of them are you.
Whose house?
Mark Calloway's house. You don't know who Mark Calloway is. It's okay.
I don't. Oh, they have an Undertaker.
Yay, there he goes. I love the fact that you stumbled across that without even knowing that you did.
Oh, so that's...
The Undertaker is a
okay.
wrestling character,
So...
and the guy's real name is Mark Calloway.
Oh, wrestling stuff.
Yay.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you are right. This is absolutely gorgeous. You can buy the shops separately as well if you wanted to. And as Captain Socks pointed out, Major Socks pointed out, there's some 15mm stuff. We've got these bridges here, for example, that are just really gorgeous. It looks like they're designed so that you can just pull the top of the bridge off too, by the look of it. Then we get into our Tudor stuff that we saw in Fantasy.
Look at that Russian log cabin.
Russian log cabin.
28mm. It's on the last road or second
row. That's pretty.
Right, it's just like the main thumbnail is just kind of like, okay, and then you cursor over it and it's just like, oh, the roof is designed to come off. And...
You know what sort of setting I could see this in? I could see people cowering inside that building as the killer's outside trying to get them.
Right. So we're gonna go back half a step. 28mm old Wild West style house.
Oh, yep.
It's got your 2-story saloon feel to it. It looks like it's designed to come apart, and there's even like, so you have the peaked roof, but then under the peaked roof is like the other roof kind of, or no, oh, you can do a multi thing
attic door
with the trap door. I love the fact that you have the flat roof with the trap door to get on the roof. I love that they threw that little detail, makes it so cool.
Yeah. And given that these are designed to come apart, I suspect that means the shops do as well. Which means that you could change them up a little bit. And you can purchase these in different colours, which is nice. Because obviously you don't want all of your houses being the same colour, because that would be kind of boring. So yeah, that's Christoph Designs. I was very, very impressed when I looked at this. So I thought I'd show this off.
Buildings.
Instead of Spellcrow.
These are...
We will cover Spellcrow at a later stage.
Those are so cool. I would... Just having all those old Wild West buildings and then having Wild West Exodus and do, like, Zoe Mortalis Wild West Exodus.
Well, you could even do some of those fantasy buildings. They're not all just fantasy. I mean, those are kind of Bavarian German style. I mean, some of even the modern Bavarian and German style buildings in the marketplace. Still look like that. So you could do a modern
for sure. But
town with these buildings as well for bolt action. The bolt action is 28mm.
The thing is, though, like, if you look at the Bavarian and the German, all that stuff, that's your generalized, century, early 19th century Europe. It's very broad, it could be Austria, it could be Poland, Germany, France, whatever. It's so universal to that part of the country. But if you look at why I'm so gooey over these, the Wild West is, show me somewhere else in history and in the world where buildings look like that. Like,
you're right.
They are iconic solely to that time period, and the fact that this guy has gone through to make these buildings, these Wild West buildings that existed only in that era, in that part of the world, is just so cool.
I have one last thing that I want to show off, and if you guys go to shop and go to sci-fi,
go shop, go to sci-fi.
Yep, sci-fi collection.
Sci-fi collection.
Oh, there's a T fighter or TIE fighter wing.
That's exactly what I wanted you to look at.
Oh, I hate you, Bruce. Oh, I hate you,
Dude.
It's
And
only
that's
eight.
actually
It's only 8 pounds.
That's not bad.
Dude, you have to know someone over in the UK still where they could buy that, have it shipped for, a couple, and then send it to you by APO, like normal postage to you, instead of paying international shipping. You're a major, make it happen. Oh, they have the Endor Moon bunker.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
they do. They actually, so Fantasy Flight, before they got switched over to Atomic Mass Games, they came out with their own that has scenarios for the game. But yeah, I could use that one just for indoor as well. That is pretty cool.
I have bad news for you, Captain Socks. They don't
What's
ship
that?
to Florida. I don't know why, but they don't ship to Florida.
Wait, specifically Florida?
Yeah. Well, I just looked at Florida because that was the important part. I don't know, it just says that we don't ship to your area. I was having a look. Otherwise, shall we cover some hobby?
What about George? I'll have George ship it to him, and then he can.
Shall we
I'm trying
cover
to think
some
of-
hobby?
We can cover some hobby.
Cream, blue, prime, paint.
What have you been up to, Captain Socks?
So, being stuck in my hotel room, I've actually brought down some of my company heroes terrain stuff, and so I'll try and put this up there for you. This is actually a little objective marker. Has little sandbags and like little oil barrels and stuff like that, because it signifies different objectives that you can earn, in a sense, resources to buy units. So I painted those up. There's 12 of those. And then I went to the mall, and it had a Lego store in the mall, and I put that together, the ISS. So
That's cool.
Holy crap.
yeah, put that together. It has a little stand, so it'll sit on my shelf in my new.
Whoa, no, stop, bring it back, turn it around. Where the bottom of the solar panels, were they coppery
Heat shield?
bronze?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And then it has all the little. Don't want to tip this off. All the little other labs that I have on the backside of the ISS. So
Wow.
I also
How
have the
long did
Saturn
that
V.
take you?
A couple hours. I also have the Saturn V. I'll have to show it to you when I get to my house. Saturn V is about 2.5 feet long, and it comes apart into 5 different stages. So that'll go in my man cave when I get my house.
I hate that phrase. It's your den. Sorry. So that's really cool. Interesting note. The bridge one, the tower bridge, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Whatever. Where it's the two. So, anyways, there was a Lego kit for that, and David Beckham had a surgery or something, and as part of his rehab of having to sit around and do nothing and let his body heal, it took him 2 weeks to build that, and it's a massive. Yeah, so I think that's really cool that you got that to occupy some of your time. I think Lego is one of the neatest things that just a little. It's like hobby without cutting your finger open, gluing yourself to yourself, spilling paint.
So, and with us being down in Florida, we're only 2 hours, an hour and a half, about 2.5 hours away from Cape Canaveral. So we're going to go try and see some space launches, especially with Artemis, next moon mission, launching in the next couple of years from there. So we're going to try and go some space launches. So I'm excited. I'm just kind of getting into the space excitement being this close to Cape Canaveral.
You've got a guest bedroom for me to stay at, right?
Yeah, you can. I can just put away my gaming tables, and you can come stay in my game room. There's a bedroom right across the hall from the.
Don't move your
my man
tables
cave.
for him. Make him sleep on the floor beside the table. Don't go out. No, if he wants to come and visit you, he needs to work for it.
I mean, that's something I haven't done either. Is, watch a launch into space.
Yeah.
So
Disney World's only going to be about an hour and a half away from us too. So we'll be going to Star Wars Land and stuff like that. So with all the kiddos.
okay, maybe start. As I've gotten older, I like people less. So doing things like Disneyland, and they're becoming less and less appealing to me.
Yes, but it's not about you. It's about the kid.
That's true. But for the Star Wars stuff, I could tolerate people briefly for a day, maybe.
All right, so that's been my hobby. Yank, what do you got, George?
What do I have for hobby? I finally got Mythic Games to speak with me, and I finally got everything sorted out. A little bit of background. I mentioned this to Bruce and them and whatnot, but I had to report them to Kickstarter because they were not responding. Well, they've responded. So we currently have a project of re-walling and doing stuff to the room on the other side of this wall where the dogs exist. So my hobby has not been hobby. I have been getting games of Cthulhu Death May Die with Sam as we can, though, which he just came up here today. So when we're not scrambling trying to get walls built, maybe. Bruce?
I have been working, and while I haven't been working, I've been working. I did, however, unbox and prime up some new Bushido models because I gave in to temptation, and I might have bought a Savage Wave starter set because I wanted to paint some of them with some paints that I may have received recently. That's the instant color paints.
Ooh!
Nice.
You got the scale 75 contrast paints.
Yep.
Did you get the scale 75 base paint?
I did. I got the grey coloured one and the yellowy coloured one. Or the pale yellowy.
Fantastic.
Yeah. There's also an unboxing of these coming up as well. I say coming up, it's already up there. It's just not live yet. It's currently exclusive to our Patreons for another day or so. It'll go live
Hey,
at some point.
quick question for you, Bruce.
Yep.
How easy is it for you to get Vallejo Air?
Very.
Give me 1 second here. I have an idea for you since you have that.
I'm now very curious as to what he's trying to do.
Yes.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna...
So you got this.
Oh, no.
I'm back. So, I have contrast paints for Games Workshop.
Yes.
But I was not going to buy the spray paint, and I was not going to buy the stuff to brush it on because... So, I went through, and this is what I did. I looked at the Games Workshop HTML5 code for the page to find the color they used for their aged white looking color for their paint.
Yeah.
I then used that HTML5 code and went through Vallejo's model air page and looked at the HTML5 code. Yes, I took a website and looked at its code and found the closest I could HTML code-wise, which turned out to be aged white.
I gathered that might have been what it was called when you dropped that name.
So I didn't have to brush on the... Yes. So I'm just wondering, like, how does Age White compare to the Scale 75, which is designed for that? Which I'm going to assume and guess that since it's Scale 75, it's going to be virtually identical color-wise as far as for the base coloring. This is contrast paint, but by Scale 75 and not Games Workshop.
Well, the big difference with this is designed for airbrush, which I assume is your big criticism of the Games Workshop. Yeah, I assume that's what your criticism of contrast was.
Yes, because
yeah.
So I'm okay with brushing on the contrast. I didn't want to have to put the base on by brush. Like, I have to cover the entire model.
Yeah.
I want to airbrush it, and I don't want to have to use an aerosol can because sometimes it's cold and things like spray paint don't want to work when it's 40 degrees below zero. Celsius or Fahrenheit doesn't matter.
Yep.
That's why I was a super nerd and went and looked at HTML5 codes for color to find this, so I didn't have to brush paint it on. I could airbrush it on. So I'm curious how close in color this is to what Scale 75 is for their. That's what I was asking. Like, how easy can you get this to do a side by side? Because I'd be curious.
I could get that very easily.
You could just go buy this, which because there's going to be, what's the word? Slight markup is like, you need this to base coat with, versus this is just airbrush paint that is part of an airbrush line that you can just go buy at a regular airbrush price.
That you would have to prime underneath too, though.
Oh, is that stuff a primer too?
This is a primer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe that's just superior then. Okay.
We will find out.
If you want to. I don't... If it's a primer, then yeah, just prime away. Ignore me. I am...
Look, here. My plan is See, the Bushido models that I painted up are primed and highlighted with the white inks that I keep on talking about. That are awesome, and you should all buy the white inks. My initial plan is to paint those with the paints, and then paint some more with this, and then see how they go against each other. Because obviously the highlight is going to have black points, and how bad does it look?
Yeah.
Compared to just doing this. Now, I expect that just doing this is going to be much better. The other thing I want to test out is how much you need to water these down. I don't know how much you need to water them down yet. And that's one of the main things that I was trying to find out, because the website doesn't talk about this at all. They are compatible with the airbrush, and that's all it matters. They just leave it up to you to figure it out.
So, all my Scale 75 paints, they say, are compatible with airbrush. After you thin them and use some flow improver and do all this, they not straight out of the pot.
No,
you gotta work with. They do airbrush nicely once you work with. So I would hope like that primer that you use with that. I would hope that you can just go into your airbrush and brush it on. You don't have to fiddle with.
That's what I'm hoping.
If you have to fiddle with it, I would be So
Tom's gonna tell. But yeah, hobby-wise, I haven't had a chance to do a lot because I went straight from doing night shift into doing day shift without actually getting a break, even though the roster says I had a break, just because that's how night shift works. It said that I worked Saturday and then I had Sunday off, but I didn't finish work until 7 o'clock Sunday morning. So I worked my day off. In fact, I mostly worked my day off. I didn't really work the day that I was rostered. Anyway, yeah.
And then you went to work Monday.
And then I went to work Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was great. I stayed awake for like 36 hours.
Alrighty.
That's it for us on the hobby front. Shall we discuss some games?
Talk nerdy to me.
Alright. So, Captain Socks, we are going to finally start our two-parter on covering the Dropfleet Resistance. We have had so many people asking about this, despite the fact that we've explained several times why we hadn't covered them yet. For those that had been wondering and hasn't noticed us mention it all of those other times, the reason we left it until last was because the resistance is a little bit more complicated and we wanted to cover them all at once. We'll be doing it over 2 episodes. We are going to be covering the battle cruisers and the dreadnoughts today. And we're going to try and get into the rest of them next time, before we then start going into cruisers and frigates and stuff later on down the line. So I'm thinking I might start off with the dreadnoughts, and it's the
What is that?
battleship?
Resources?
Sorry, not dreadnoughts, battleships. Because they don't have a dreadnought yet.
Nope.
So, I'm starting with the
Treat me
Resistance
like it's
Trident, which is a grand battleship. It has an...
That way, George.
Sorry, George?
Look at the chat. George.
Thank you, Socks. You're so kind to me.
I know.
I'll take back 2 of the bad things I've said about you.
Only 2.
Just 2.
Okay.
1 for this episode, 1 for the next.
While George is
Sorry,
proving
Bruce,
how
go ahead.
nice he is. Okay, so the Resistance Trident. It's a grand battleship. Costs you 340 points. We've got an 8-inch scan, a 14-inch sig, 6-inch thrust, 24 hull. The armor is 2+. It's got 10-point defense. It's a grouping of 1. And it's super heavy. Its special is ablative armor. Which, can one of you look up what ablative armor does?
I don't have my rulebook. Sorry. Sorry, Bruce.
I'm going to keep on going while George pulls his book out. Because mine's over there.
Mine's-
Not pulling out.
Mine's 14 hours that way in a box.
You could have gone and got it.
Why
Okay.
can't we get it?
While George is looking that up, I'm going to go through the weapons. And then we'll come back to what the ablative armor does. We've got 2 9K...
I don't have it in my book.
Oh, that's frustrating. It might be on
Maybe
the
a battle
website then.
for Earth.
It'll be on...
Yeah, it might be a battle for Earth thing. I've only... What?
Yeah.
This one.
So, the 9K mass turret drivers, there's one on the left and one on the right. It's a 2+ lock, 4 attacks each, 1 damage, front side left, front side right. Fusillade 8. We've then got an N12 artillery cannon, which has got a lock of 4+, 10 attacks, 1 damage. There's one on the left, one on the right. They are linked. And low power. So there's something else we need to look up. The close action weapons are NC-16 missiles, lock of 3, and you get D3 plus 1 attacks. So you get a minimum of 2, maximum of 4. 1 damage each, front, side, rear. You also have a torpedo, which is limited to 4. Well, torpedo, launch 1, special is limited 4. So, now I'm going to run across while I assume Captain Socks reads the next one, and I'll come back to the armor and the low power thing in a second.
Well, I was just pulling up the rules on the website, and I did a search, but didn't find them, so we'll find them here eventually. Over to the Elysium Grand Battleship. 8-inch signet or scan range, 14-inch sig, thrust of 6 inches, hull of 24, armor of 2+, 10-point defense, 1 group, and super heavy and a blade of armor as well, so pretty much the same as the Trident. Has 2 mass K driver turrets, one on the left and right, same values, lock 2+, 4 attack, 1 damage, with Fusillade 4, and then it has an NK or N12 artillery cannon. On the side, on the left and right, 4+, 10 lock, 10 attack, 1 damage each, linked 1 and low par for both of those. And then it has NC-16 missiles with 3 lock, D3 plus 1 attack, 1 damage in its close action, and then it has a launch of 1 torpedo and has 4 torpedoes on there as its launch value. So pretty similar
Those
to
missiles are
Trident.
one away from being adult.
Yeah. So either something's not right here because that's the exact same stats as the Trident, the Elysium. Going back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah.
So something needs to be fixed there, Lewis. Unless I'm missing something. Because the stats on the website look very similar.
Especially if...
Unless you're seeing something different in the books there, Bruce.
So if I look at the Elysium, yeah, it's exactly the same. And actually the ship picture's the same too.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eden... The Eden's different.
The Eden is different.
Same initial stats. It has the same turrets, but it's got a mega vent cannon, which is a lock of 3+ 3d3 attacks. So that's a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 10.
9.
9.
Oh no, there's no +1. Sorry, yeah. So minimum of 3, maximum of 9. 2 damage each. There's one on the left, one on the right. They are linked. You can overcharge them. They have Scold. What is this?
No, we're talking about the resistance brews.
What is this disgusting, nasty idea that only Scourge are not allowed to have Scold? Lewis, what are you doing? No, this is my special thing. You can't share. I won't share. Everything else is the same. Has the same torpedo as well.
Well,
It's probably because the resistance stole Scourge technology and figured out how to skull.
That would make sense.
It's not that hard. You just get it really hot.
I was looking over the Resistance Olympus Grand Battleship while you're reading over the stats, and they had the exact same stats too on the website. So something's wrong on the website, I think. Because it's showing the same stats as the Eden.
So, the limited special rule. A weapon with limited is denoted as by an L. The number is the number of times that weapon can be used. So, limited 4 means you can only use it 4 times. I know that might have sounded a little obvious, but I wanted to clarify that just in case it wasn't.
Because Michelle would.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, can...
It looks like the Phalanx and the Tribune have the correct stat, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the battle cruisers.
So the Phalanx, this is the first was it Reconquest? No, Pre-Conquest ship that the PHR UCM could use that the similar kind of design.
Yeah.
This is the Resistance Phalanx. It's a scan of 6, Sig of 8, Thrust of 6, Hull of 17, Armor of 2 up. 2 up. It's a Terminator. 5-point defense, group of 1, tonnage of super, has ablative armor. Yes, Bruce.
The Resistance and the Elysium are both the same ship. They're different versions of the same ship.
Oh, well, there we go. It's...
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like...
So that's our bad.
The Ruby... Okay, then.
One of them is an alternate skull.
We are professionals. Alright, so moving on with the Phalanx then. Ablative armor. Then it has a 9K twin mass driver turrets with a lock of 2 up, 4 attacks, 1 damage, front side arcs.
as a 270.
Fusillade 4. Interesting. I've never seen it. Oh, it's the big guns hanging off the belly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then it has two N31 hybrid gun long battery. Those would be the little ports you see on the side. Those hit on 4 up, 9 shots each, 1 damage each. Side left, side right, linked 1. And then you have NC4 missiles, 4 up, 4 damage, 1 shot, front, side, rear, close action. Total point cost for one of these ships is 200. And then we have also the Tribune Battle Cruiser, which is the same kind of platform, but a little bit different. It has one of the 9K master turrets. It has some differences. It has a scan 6, 6, thrust to 6. It has 17 hulls, so a little more hull. Still armor 2 5 point defense, Scorpion 1, tonnage, super heavy. Nothing changed there. It has the 9K mass turret, 2 up, 2 attacks, 1 damage front side, fusillade 2. Then it has an N11 I cannot talk. Sally sells seashells down by the seashore. N11 twin artillery cannon turrets, 4 up, 6 shots, 1 damage, front and side, low power. Then you have 2 NC-16 missile banks, 3 up to hit, D3 plus 1 shots for each, 1 damage each, side left, side right, close action. So, a double close action weapon that only works in one direction. That's interesting. It's very interesting. This also has a bulk lander and a fire ship. I wonder if the fire ship starts fires. And then it also does fighters and bombers, which that's pretty interesting because usually you do fighters and bombers, or you do bulk landers, or whatnot. So for it to do bulk landers and fighters and bombers,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. This has a total point cost of 210. Between the two, this one and the I just hit the wrong button. The Phalanx. Between those two, I'm gonna have to give my hat to the Tribune, just because it's that versatile launching, and it's still got some decent teeth.
Yeah, I agree. The only downside is their close action. Being able to shoot only on your broadsides for your close action, that's going to hurt when you get it up a little bit close.
That is true. But this is resistance, so their scan is on the small side.
Yeah, but I think you're right with being able to launch bulk landers, and defend itself with fighter and bombers if needed is pretty versatile.
What's a fire ship?
What do you mean, what's a fire ship?
It's a new launch capability that the older Resistance have. Let me look in the...
If you look on the Tribune, it says bulk lander and fire ship 1. What? I don't know what a fire ship is. Educate me.
I'm trying to find it right now. So... Fire ships are a unique type of bomber. They follow the same but are resolved separately. They also coordinate their attack, however much they. So looks like they activate, resolve separately than bombers. A resistance fire ship. Come on, where in the rules am I looking for? I'm not seeing the attack capabilities of a fire ship. We'll have to do some research and look for it and look and explain fire ships.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the rules and I'm not finding.
To me, my gamer logic is telling me it's like a firefighter in Fahrenheit 451. It goes and starts fires.
I found the special rule for ablative armor.
Oh, did you?
Yep. A ship with an ablative armor increases its armor by 2 points. So, for example, 5+ becomes a 3+ until it's crippled. Note that this bonus is lost for the rest of the game. So, it's a 2+ now, and then when it's crippled, it becomes a 4+.
That seems fair, because
it can't be a 0.
2+ armor is 2+ armor is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's anything but.
Also, low power. Up to 1 low power or multiple low power weapons with the linked special rule may be fired instead of close action weapons, in addition to other weapons permitted by a ship's orders. A ship that is unable to use any of its weapon systems due to special orders may not use low power weapons either. So you can use your regular weapons and those low power ones at the same time.
So you could go weapons free without weapons free. So you could shoot your main gun and you should get a low power weapon instead of your close action one. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
The last one that was on there was overcharge. If a weapons fire if on the weapons free special order, an overcharge weapon or a group of overcharge weapons with the linked rule may double their damage values if this is chosen. No other weapons other than close action ones may be fired by the ship that turn. Launch assets may still be deployed as normal. That's potentially very nasty. It's one of those things that could be really nasty, but only if you use it at the right time.
Yeah.
Now,
What
fire ships.
is that? Is unstable in there? Because unstable was one of those for that overcharge weapon, that mega vent cannon battery.
Yes.
Unstable was.
If an unstable weapon with a random attack value is fired on a weapons free order, the ship suffers 1 hull damage per max attack value rolled. For example, 1 hull damage per 3 result on a D3. If an unstable weapon doesn't have a random attack value, then the ship suffers 1 hull damage for using that weapon on the free order. So you're hurting yourself as you're using those weapons.
Yep.
So you'd be wanting to be very careful about when you're using it, is basically what you're looking at there.
Yeah.
Now, what was the fire ship question that you had?
What's a fire ship?
Fire ships are unique type of bomber that follow all the same rules but are resolved separately. So are they like a bomber for the PHR or the resistance? That's what I'm getting at, based on that rule. Fire ships are a unique type of bomber. They follow all the same rules but are resolved separately. They also coordinate their attack.
That sounds right. That sounds
so.
fine.
So it's like a second.
So it's just an alternate version.
But they also have radar bombers. So they have 2 types of bombers as a resistance. From what it
So
sounds
they have a bulk lander or 3 fighters or 4 bombers for the Tribune then.
But the 4th bomber would be resolved separately because it's not resolved as part of the bombers.
Right, yeah, because it's a fire ship, not
a bomber.
That ship's weird.
I would use it more for bulk lander capability, unless I needed to use that fire ship, because you only have a grouping.
I don't
of
know.
one.
I like the whole, like, you got fighters and bombers and a bulk lander in one ship.
Yes, I do like
No,
that as well.
I'm agreeing with you there that it's a good versatile ship, but I think I would use the bulk lander ability more than I would use the fire ship, unless I needed to use the fire ship for a turn.
Well, so check this out. So I'm still gonna give my points for value. I'm still gonna give to the Tribune, and here's why. So it's got a bulk lander. It's got 17 hull, and it's got a 2-up save. It only has a scan of 6, but you want to be able to drop that bulk lander onto objectives to score points. And then you've got 2 close action weapons that are, D3+1 that are hitting on 3s, on top of, your K9, 9K mass hurt driver, which is a 2-up, 2-attack weapon, and a bulk lander. That's a pretty good, sit on a cluster. And Bruce?
Alright, so I'm going to start by reading the Resistance Bombers line. Then I will come into what the actual Fireship line is. So the Resistance Bombers has a 12-inch thrust, 4-inch lock. Sorry, 4 plus lock. 3 attacks and 1 damage. They're not special.
Okay.
The Fireship has 6-inch thrust, 2 plus lock, 1 attack, 3 damage. Their special is that they're not allowed to double thrust.
So it's a close action bomber.
That does a lot more damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so So of these 6 ships we've talked about tonight, I'm gonna have to say the Tribune is probably the best one for my opinion. You know, like sitting on a cluster and dropping a bulk lander, being able to close action, having a close action bomber, having fighters and bombers, having a bulk lander, having a 270-degree weapon that hits on 2s. It's really good.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, 2 of them, because you got your N11 twin artillery cannon turrets that has low power, so you could shoot those instead of your missiles on the sides.
Right, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, the Tribune takes it for me too, and it's quite easily taking it.
Yeah,
like very easily.
After that, I have to give it to the Eden and the Olympus as a second place. Yeah, they cost a lot, but if you work them right, they're gonna work good for you.
Yeah.
But that Tribune is good, especially at 210 points.
I'd probably take the
What's
Trident.
a PHR bulk player?
I'd probably take the Trident over the Olympus, just because I don't need help destroying my own ships. That's more of a personal thing. And they've also got the low power, so you can fire off a lot more stuff. And let's be honest, I need as many dice as I can get.
So, PHR,
yeah, what's a PHR bulk
most
You had to ask me that just as I closed the book.
I was asking Socks because he knows his PHR. What's a PHR ship with a bulk lander? How much are they points wise?
They are. I'm just looking them up right now. They're regular cruiser. 135 points for either one.
135 points. So for another 90 points, you get 17 hull and a 2-up armor with fighters and bombers too.
So they also have the. Yeah, it's a 4-point hull difference between the PHR troop ship and the Tribune.
But the PHR is a 3-up though, right?
3-up armor save. Yep. 8-inch scan. These ones.
Yeah, so a little better scan, but yeah, no, this Tribune I think hands down is the workhorse.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And with that, upcoming events wise, at the end of this month is a very big show.
Wait, upcoming events.
I shouldn't love that as much as I do. UK Gaming Expo is on the Friday, July 31st.
I still love the fact that you forget that it exists until I push the button and then you're like, oh god, this exists.
Friday 31st till Saturday the 1st of August. You're required to have a lateral flow test if you're going to be there, regardless if you're attendee, volunteer or staff. Gen Con, September 16th till 19th. PAX Australia is Friday the 8th of October till Sunday the 10th of October. This man will be there. And the Drop Zone painting competition is still going. Get a Drop Zone vehicle and paint it up to belong in a universe that is different. So I need to avoid the one that I'm doing. So you could paint it to be up like Transformers, you could paint it up to be like G.I. Joe, you could paint it up to be like the A-Team van, etc., etc., etc.
Don't do G.I. Joe because that's already kind of what it looks like, though, I think. All you're missing is the little G.I. Joe logo with that, with stencil and everything. So, if you can stencil that G.I. Joe logo on a 10 mil mob, you win, in my opinion.
Yeah. I've seen someone that painted up an entire army to look like the Umbrella Corporation. Which is just and he didn't do it for the competition. He was doing it just for funsies. And I was like, dude, look at this competition. You need to enter this competition now. So I think we might have all lost already, just for the record. But join anyway. Prove me wrong. Okay. Thank you for those that do support us. We do very much appreciate it. If you're in a position to do so, please consider joining our Patreon. Patreon.com/gettingtabled. For $2 a month, you get early access to at least 80% of the videos that we put out there. You get early access to the video edition of this podcast every single episode by like 4 or 5 days. If you would like to follow us on social media, everything that we do is shared on facebook.com/gettingtabled. Alternatively, we do have a Twitter @gettingtabled. We also have an Instagram @gettingtabled. If you want to reach out to the team...
And you can email us.
Yes. Where can they email us, George?
You can email us at gettingtabled@gmail.com.
Yes. And if you're looking at the screen right now, you can see a link to join our Discord. Play the thing, George.
Play the thing, Bruce. Oh, wait, no, I'm George. I play the thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
For listening to Getting Tabled. Music used in this podcast was created by Eric Matthias at soundimage.org.
Play more.